Hello, my name is Kev Edwin. I'm a counsellor and I work from my clinic Magic Hands Calm Minds in Colford in the Forest of Dean. And this is one of a series of videos about the less serious, maybe less well-known mental health issues, some of which you may recognise but not really realise they were actually a thing. Today I'm going to talk about negative self-talk. So self-talk is the voice in your head that is continually there. And it says stuff to you. It says things like, did you remember to turn the lights off before you went out? And don't forget you need bread. And are you really sure you did that right? Should you have said that to that person? I'm wondering if they're really upset with you now. Maybe you should go over that conversation again. So sometimes self-talk is helpful and sometimes it really isn't. Self-talk is important for two reasons. Firstly, it's always there. If an actual other person was saying something negative or critical about you, you could walk away from them. You can't walk away from yourself. And the other reason is because nobody contradicts it. Some of the things we say inside our own heads, if somebody said them out loud and anyone else was around, they would challenge and say, that is a dreadful thing to say. How dare you? Because the sorts of things that come under the heading of negative self-talk can be really, really horrible. Things you would never dream of saying out loud to anybody, not even your worst enemy. So you're making your coffee in the morning and you spill the milk on the counter. And you could go, oh, I spilled the milk. Oh well, mop. Job done. Move on with your life. Negative self-talk cuts in, leaping on the opportunity there. Oh, you spilled the milk. You idiot. You can't do anything right, can you? As soon as you touch something, it goes wrong. Now look what you've done. Now you're going to have to clear that up and you're going to be late now as a result of that. And don't forget that you've wasted the milk. Honestly, what kind of idiot are you? Very much out of proportion to what's happened. Very negative. Very cruel in some cases. Now, the point with negative self-talk, or indeed any kind of self-talk, because it goes on inside your own head, your brain actually doesn't recognise it as talking. If you said those things out loud, they would feel completely different. And that's because they then go in through your ears. You're listening through your outside ears rather than your inside ears. And that then goes into a different part of your brain, which looks at the information and interprets it as conversation. And that part of your brain can look at it and go, well, that was a horrible thing to say. When the talk is just inside your own head, that bit of your brain doesn't get involved. So nobody contradicts you, nobody interrupts you, nobody tells you that you're being horrible to yourself. What happens with a continued pattern of negative self-talk is you end up believing it. In self-talk, we don't use criticism of what we've done. We use criticism of who we are. So in the example I just gave, oh, that was very careless of you to spill the milk, is criticism of what you did. You idiot, you're so clumsy, is criticism of who you are. Criticism of who you are is always more painful to hear and more damaging than criticism of something you've done. If you've been clumsy, yes, I've been clumsy, that is a fact, I spilt the milk, that is regrettable. If you're an idiot, that is really fundamental. And you can't necessarily change being an idiot. You can become less clumsy by being more careful. How do you become less of an idiot? That's different. And this is the important thing about negative self-talk. We are very, very nasty about who we are in the privileged silence of our own heads. So if you recognise yourself in that, if you realise that you've got a lot of negative self-talk going on and you would like to stop it, then that is possible. You can come to see a counsellor like me, and if you wanted to do that, then I'd be delighted to see you. Or you can just stop doing it yourself with some relatively simple steps. First one is to notice you're doing it. A lot of the time this self-talk is going on in our heads and we're not even really consciously aware of it. So notice what's happening. Notice what you're saying to yourself. Is that something that you actually want to say to the most important person in your life, which by the way, is you? If it's not, don't do it. Next time you hear that voice start up, as soon as you realise it's there, cut it off. No, we don't talk to people like that. That's not kind. I will change the way I'm speaking to myself. You can, if you feel the need, still criticise what you've done, or you can be kind to yourself. So instead of going, oh, I'm so clumsy, I've spilt the milk. Oh dear, I spilt the milk. How unfortunate. I'll be more careful next time. Is a much nicer way to deal with that situation. So negative self-talk can be overcome, and it can make an enormous difference to your life. A lot of people who have low self-esteem or imposter syndrome have a lot of negative self-talk going on. So by stopping that, you can improve your general overall happiness and your effectiveness as a human going through life, which sounds like a good thing to me. So as I said, if you would like some help with that, then I would love to hear from you. If you have anything you'd like to say about this video, then I'd love to hear that too, whether you found it helpful or not. And do feel free to share it with your friends if you think that would be a useful thing to do. So thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.